Yes, ma'am. Very good morning to all of you. Yes, sir. I think now we are discussing tax rates. Can you tell me the tax rate means nothing but we have to identify three things. And aggregation of these three things only we can call it as tax liability under Income Tax Act 2025. Can you tell me what are the three components, ma? Income tax, second one, surcharge, third one, health and education cess. Health and education cess. So now we are going to discuss the income tax rates, right? Then after we can discuss about the surcharge rates. Then after health and education says we can discuss. Okay. In these income tax rates, first we have to discuss about the individual, HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP. Why we are combining all these persons as a set while discussing the tax rates? Because they have an default tax regime 115 BAC earlier. Now, 202. Now, 202. They have an option to follow default tax regime under 202. Otherwise, they can shift out from the 202 to what? Normal as well as old. Okay. So, that is only first we'll discuss under income tax. Yes, ma'am. What is that under income tax rates? So first we'll discuss about the A for whom individual, HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP. Okay, let's do one thing. Okay, we have to discuss the tax rates for them. Okay, we have to discuss the tax rates for them for whom individual, HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP. So if you observe, in this only first I will tell you income tax rates. Next, for these are all the persons I will tell you surcharge rate. Then after health and education cess. Okay, combinedly we can discuss. In SSC wise we can discuss the tax rate, surcharge rates, health and education cess. Tell me first, what are the regimes we have, ma? First one, second. First, can you tell me default tax regime under section? Earlier, if you observe, we know already 202. That means if they are filing the return of income, by default some tax rates will be applied. That rates only called as what? Default tax rate. Write it down along with me slowly. Default tax regime under section 202. Default tax regime under section 202. Sir, but we do, okay, they are given the default tax regime in the act, but I don't want to follow this default tax regime. Can I shift out or can I opt out from the default to optional? Yes. Okay. If I opting out this regime or if I am shifting out from this regime, can you tell me what is the regime I have to follow? Optional tax regime. What is that? Optional tax regime. Super. Sir, how to shift out or how to opt out? Yes, ma. I want to shift out. Exact words you have to remember. Or I want to opt out from the default tax regime. Or if you are shifting out or if you are opting out means you are going to follow the which regime? Optional tax regime. So under which section they given the facility to shift out or facility to opt out? 202 subsection 4. In this section they given an facility to shift out or opt out. So that is only now I will discuss what is the section number? 202 subsection 4. What is that? A given an option to shift out or opt out from default tax regime default tax regime under section 202. Okay, in which section they given an option to shift out or opt out 202 subsection. Understood all of you? Yes. Now I want to tell you few more things. In this regime, while discussing the tax rates, yes, no need to check age, no need to check residential status. Sir, how you are saying these things? Remember, in the default tax regime, if you observe, without age consideration, without residential status consideration, all we given the basic exemption limit as what? 4 lakh. So that means while we are discussing the tax rates under default tax regime, no need to consider two things. What are the two things, ma? Age as well as residential status. So that is like a shortcut pointer. No need to, tell me, consider, yes ma, age or what ma, residential status. That means non-resident also can follow the default tax regime under section 202. Default tax regime under section 202. Sir, here we are written it as a no need to consider age as well as residential status. But here definitely we have to consider age as well as what ma, residential status. You can check based on age, based on residential status, we have a different basic exemption limit. That means we considered or we didn't consider ma, we consider. So this basic differences, if you know, then automatically you will get in confidence while remembering these tax rates also. Yes, definitely. Always, yes ma, always we need to consider what are the things. We need to consider age as well as what ma, residential status. Ray understood. Now, first we'll concentrate on the, yes ma, tax rates under default tax regime under section 202. Forget about old section. Definitely you know old sections also. Old section here, what is that? 115 BAC. Forget about it. In your exam paper also, definitely they will mention these sections only. So okay, okay, in one day or in 10 days, maybe you can't shift from old to new. It will take time. So multiple times if I am talking with the new section numbers, automatically that will be also registered into your mind. Okay. Now first we'll concentrate the tax rates. First, what is the tax rates I want to tell you here? First, I want to tell you income tax rates. Under which regime? Tell me, under which regime? Now I want to discuss the income tax rates. Default tax regime. What is the default tax regime? Section 202. Okay, one by one. You know already basic exemption limit. Tell me what is the basic exemption limit? We know already 4 lakh. For all, right? Without checking age, without checking residential status. We know already what is that? Basic exemption limit 4 lakh. Sir, here while checking the tax rates for that individual HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP, we are going to follow the slab rates or flat rate? Slab rate. That means level of income increases, we have to increase the tax rate. So first level we know what is the first level? Up to 4 lakh. Up to 4 lakh. What is the tax rates? Nil. Because basically that amount is exempt. Okay. So along with me, please try to write it down. First 0 to 4 lakh. Tell me, nil, right? Next slab, 4 lakh to 8 lakh. Every slab we have to increase with the 4 lakh. Next one, 8 lakh to 12 lakh. Next one, 12 lakh to 16 lakh. 16 lakh to 20 lakh. 20 lakh to Tell me, 24 lakh, above 24 lakh. Above 24 lakh. Sir, we increased the income with a slab of 4 lakh. Rate also, yes, multiples of 5. Please tell me, 5%, 10%, 15%, 20%, 25%, and last one, 30%. So try to remember the last, and automatically you can end above 24 lakh, always 30%. Otherwise, always you will increase with the 4 lakh income slab, 5% tax rate slab. It will be unsandra. No. Ending will be above 24 lakh, always how much, 30%. Sir, I can't, okay, I don't want to say every slab. Please remember the amount not required. In flow, you can apply the, okay, here 4 lakh will be there. 4 lakh into 5%, how much, 20,000. Next year, 4 lakh into how much, 10%. Okay, if you are remembering the amount, that is also confusion only. Just a slab and what is a rate. That is enough. Clear? Now, income tax rates over. Now I want to discuss the surcharge rates for the individual HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP if they followed default tax regime under section 202. Shall we? Surcharge rates now we want to discuss. Can you tell me when we have to discuss the surcharge rate especially? Yes, Ra. Now, if they followed the which regime, Ra? So the same color we can maintain. Okay. B. Now I want to discuss the surcharge rates. Sir, you know already surcharge means what? It is tax on tax for poor fellows or rich fellows? Rich fellows. Already we calculated the income tax liability. On this income tax liability, we have to apply certain percentage in order to calculate what? Surcharge. Now, so now we can discuss surcharge. Yes, ma. AOP. For whom we are discussing surcharge now? Individual, HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP. Yes, ma'am. Which regime they are following? Under default tax regime. Under default tax regime. Under default tax regime under section what? 202. I want to exclude one type of AOP from here. You know, association of person. Any person can become the member in whom AOP. But while discussing the surcharge rates, I want to exclude one type of AOP. What is that AOP I want to exclude? Any idea? Any idea about the AOP stuff? Which AOP I want to exclude? Yes, ma'am. If that AOP consisting only companies as an members. What is that, ma'am? If AOP consisting only companies as an members. Give me 1 minute. Exact wording I will find it out in New Act. We can write it down. What is that, ma? We have to exclude other than. One thing we are excluding other than AOP consisting only companies as members. Example, okay, I will erase it just for your explanation purpose only. Now I am writing this. Tell me, in one AOP, one company is member, one partnership firm is a member, and one LLP is a member. Okay. Another AOP, yes, 3 companies only as a members. Okay, just this is one AOP, another AOP I am given as an example. Don't write it down, just for example purpose. Now, here we are excluding which AOP, ma? AOP consisting only companies as a members. In that AOP, we have an members always what company. So now here we are excluding means whatever the surcharge rates now we are discussing, that surcharge rates not applicable for this AOP. I will tell you separately what are the surcharge rates for this AOP. Which AOP we are excluding from the discussion? AOP consisting only companies as a members. Why they are excluding also I will tell you. Definitely I will tell you why they are excluding this AOP, especially from here also we'll discuss. Shall we discuss? First you have to understood what is a line they given. Okay. Tell me how to discuss the surcharge rates based on what total income. Sir, if total income is more and more, then only we can say that persons are rich. Based on that, we can levy the what surcharge. So now, what is a surcharge also we'll discuss. What is a surcharge rate also we'll discuss. Shall we, ma? Okay. Ma, tell me, if the total income is, yes ma, if the total income of the individual HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP, yes, if that is equal to 50 lakh, less than 50 lakh, if that person total income is equal to 50 lakh, less than 50 lakh, no need to pay the surcharge. Sir, exactly I have an 49 lakh total income. I am an individual. I am following default tax regime under 202. I have an how much income? 49 lakh. Or I have an 50 lakh. Now, do I need to pay any surcharge? No. Because they consider me as a poor only as per this act. Suppose, if exceeded the 50 lakh. Yes, ma? If exceeded the how much, ma? 50 lakh. And if does not exceed, yes, ma, how much, ma? 1 CR. That means if my total income is more than 50 lakh, less than or equal to how much, ma? 1 crore. Forget about earlier example. Now I have a 90 lakh total income. What is the surcharge rate I have to follow, ma? 10% of what, ma? Income tax. Sir, earlier we calculated the income tax by using these rates, right? Whatever that income tax you got, on that now you have to pay surcharge as an what? 10%. Understood all of you? Now, forget about these things. Now, my total income is more than 1 crore, less than or equal to how much, ma? 2 crore. So, is there any idea about surcharge rate? 15% of what, ma? Income tax. 15% of what, ma? Income tax. Again, I am repeating, listen carefully. I have an income, total income 1.5 crore. Where I am locating now? 1.5 means third point. What is the surcharge rate? 15% of income tax. 15% of what, ma? Income tax. Next, please tell me, if my total income is more than, yes, if my total income is more than how much, ma? 2 crore, less than how much, ma? More than how much, ma? 2 crore, less than, any idea? Less than how much, ma? 5 crore. Sorry, more than how much, ma? 2 crore. How much? 5 crore not raw. Whatever that amount is more than 2 crore. Can you tell me how much, ma? 20. 5% of what? Income tax. Under default tax regime, what is that? Total income if exceeded 2 crore. Sir, more than 2 crore, how much it will be also? Always surcharge rate is what? 25%. Now we can frame one sentence. Yes. What is that maximum surcharge rate under default tax regime? What is that maximum surcharge rate under default tax regime? 25%. And the first and the foremost point you have to remember, surcharge percentages we have to apply on what? Income tax. We have to apply on what? Income tax. Clear? Okay. Now, surcharge here also done. Now I want to discuss the tax rates under this regime. Then after what? Surcharge rates. So shall we discuss? What is that? Income tax rates. Use space properly. Income tax rates. Here I want to discuss the, yes here I want to discuss the, yes, tax rates, yes, income tax rates for the SSCs properly. Why? We have different categories here. Yes, the first category, tell me individual. Can you tell me who is that individual? Non-resident. Individual who is that? Non-resident. Here we have to consider age as well as residential status. Individual who is a non-resident. Resident have how much? Less than how many years? 60 years. Less than how many years? 60 years. Next, HUF, AOP, BOI, A. Tell me, what is the basic exemption limit? 0 to 2.5 lakh. What is that? Nil. Sir, how you know basic exemption limit? Earlier we discussed. Yes, for this set of fellows, what is the basic exemption limit? 2,50,000. What is the next slab? All of you know already. 2,50,000 to 5 lakh. Next one, 5 lakh to 10 lakh. Next one, above 10 lakh. Can you tell me what is that rates? 5%, 20%. Next one, 30. Understood? Earlier whatever we discussed, that is only the same, not changed anything. Yes, next, can you tell me the category? Non-resident already covered here. We have to consider resident. We have to consider whom? Resident. How many years of age? Resident more than or equal to 60, less than how much? 80 years. I think we can call this fellow as an what? Senior citizen. Yes, we can call this fellow as an senior citizen. Can you tell me what is that basic exemption limit for this fellow? 3 lakh. So next slab, 3 lakh to 5 lakh. Next slab, 5 lakh to 10 lakh. Next slab, above 10 lakh. Tell me what is that amount? Nil, 5%, 20%, and what is that? 30%. 5%, 20%, as well as what? 30%. Next category, check it out clearly. Resident having the age more than or equal to how many years? 80 years. This fellow we can call it as an super senior citizen. Super senior citizen or very senior citizen, right? Very senior citizen. Tell me, so before going to the discuss tax rates for them, what tax rates? Income tax rates. What is the basic exemption limit? All of you please tell me. 5 lakh. 0 to 5 lakh itself basically exempt. Next slab is what? 5 lakh to 10 lakh. Next slab is what? Above 10 lakh. In this, you can do one mistake, a silly mistake we can do. Automatically nil after that, what is the slab we discussed always? 5%. Here there is no 5% slab. Why? 5% slab is up to how much ma? 5 lakh. Here 5 lakh itself basically exempt, right? So that's why there is no 5% slab. It should continuing with the 20% as well as ending with the what ma? 30%. Please remember, if SSC following the optional tax regime and if age is more than or equal to 80 years, here there is no 5% slab. There is no 5% slab. So these mistakes only will cost nearly 2 to 3 marks in the total income questions. Some cases, definitely they will test this point. Many of us, okay, you know, but by procedure we can apply 5%. That is wrong only, remember. Ma understood all of you up to now? So even though I am going in a speed way also, because you know already basic exemption limit, tax rates, whatever we discussed in old act also the same as it is. Now shall we discuss the surcharge rates? Yes. Ma, here I want to do the copy and paste. You have an option or not having any option to copy and paste? You don't have any option. That's why you have to write it down. But I want to change the one thing. Here what is that change I want to make? Under which regime? Optional. Under which tax regime? Optional tax regime. Under which tax regime? Optional tax regime. But in this also, I want to exclude one type of AOP. What is that AOP I want to exclude? AOP consisting only companies as and members. I want to exclude AOP consisting companies as members. Or in one AOP, company is member, partnership is member, as well as individual as a member. Now, same surcharge rates, whatever we discussed, that is only applicable. But one type of AOP, in that AOP, only companies as and members. Separately, I will tell you surcharge rate. These surcharge rates are not applicable for such AOP. Clear up to now? Shall we discuss? Please give the heading. Surcharge rates for individual, HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP. Consist AOP under what? Optional tax regime. But I want to exclude one type of AOP. Shall we? Yes. Shall we? Sir, what is that base for deciding surcharge? Total income. Sir, this base is very important. What is the base for deciding surcharge? Total income. Based on total income only, we can decide surcharge is levied or not. How much amount of surcharge we have to levied also, we can decide based on which income? Total income. Now, I will check the total income. If the total income is less than or equal to 50 lakh. Yes, what is the surcharge under optional tax rates? Yes, optional tax regime nil. This point you have to remember. If an individual HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP total income equal to 50 also, less than 50 also, there is no surcharge. They considered you as an poor simply. If your income is, total income is more than 50 lakh, less than or equal to 1 crore for particular tax year, then they will levy the surcharge at the rate of 10%. 10% of surcharge we have to apply on what ma? Income tax. Don't forget that. Next, more than 1 crore, sir, less than or equal to 2 crores, sir, then what is the surcharge? 15% of income tax. Sir, more than 2 crores, sir, I have, but less than or equal to 5 crores, sir, then what is that, ma'am? 25% of income tax. Sir, I have more than 5 crores, sir. Whatever the total income is more than 5 crore, yes, can you tell me what is the surcharge rate, ma? 37% of what? Income tax. Listen carefully, under optional tax regime for an individual HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP, what is the maximum surcharge rate we can levy? 37. Ma, here that maximum more than 2 crores always 25. Here more than 5 crores always how much, ma? 37. Surcharge rates also, the slabs also, differentiation between the both the regimes is there, you have to remember. If you applied interchangeably also, that is wrong. Under default tax regime, more than 2 crores, always what ma? 25. Under optional tax regime, more than 5 crore, how much ma? 37. Can you tell me the slabs for levying surcharge total income less than or equal to 50 lakh? Next 50 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 5, more than 5. Here ending with the what ma? More than 2. Clear? But we excluded that AOP, right? One AOP we excluded from both the surcharge discussion. Now I want to tell you, for that excluded AOP, what is the tax rate? Shall we? Give me a minute. Shall we, ma? Note point. Note point means nothing but why we are discussing it as note point, because we excluded this AOP from above. Now I want to tell you, yes, you have to listen carefully. Surcharge rates for AOP consisting, tell me, consisting only companies as what ma? Members. Only companies as what ma? Members. Always now for discussing surcharge rates, what is the base ma? Total income. Okay, sir, based on total income, we can decide the surcharge rate, sir. That surcharge rate required to be applied on what ma? Income tax. Surcharge rate always applied on what ma? Income tax. What is that based? Less than or equal to 50 lakh total income, there is no need to levy the surcharge. More than 50 lakh, less than or equal to what ma? 1 crore. Next, more than 1 crore. More than what ma? 1 crore. Sir, for whom we are discussing AOP consisting only companies as members. For them, now we are discussing the surcharge rates. Here, the maximum surcharge rate is just how much ma? 15%. Sir, here also more than 1 crore, how much? 15%. That is only the last. Why? I will tell you. Because already members are companies. Companies also required to pay the tax as well as surcharge. Okay, so that's why we are limiting the surcharge maximum to extent how much ma? 15%. So please try to write it down. The maximum surcharge rates also, please remember, yes, under default tax regime 25, under optional 37, under optional 37. If AOP consisting only companies as members, what is the maximum surcharge rate? 15%. Yes, ma, copied all of you. Done. Next, sir, up to now we discussed these tax rates as well as surcharge rates for whom? Individual, HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP. Next, I want to discuss the tax rates as well as surcharge rates for few more persons. Individual, HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP over. Next, I want to discuss the for whom? Any idea? Just guess. B. Partnership firm, including including LLP or for local authority. same tax rates is there for all. So that's why I will discuss it combinedly. One Huma partnership firm, including Huma LLP, partnership firm, including Huma LLP, as well as local authority. I will tell you tax rates as well as what ma surcharge rates for them. Already we discussed for Huma, individual, HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP. Now we'll discuss the next three: partnership firm, LLP, local authority. Generally, I want to tell you some basic thing. Right? If any person having the basic exemption limit, can you tell me following persons having the basic exemption limit means you know already for who we have an basic exemption limit ma individual, HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP. These are the only the person having the basic exemption limit. That's why they will follow which rates are slab rates. Okay, up to basic exemption limit one slab. Next every slab increases, then we have to increase the tax rate also. But these fellows doesn't have any basic exemption limit, right? So that's why they have to follow which rates are flat rates. Okay, there is no basic exemption limit means on total income we have to apply one rate. That rate is called as what? Flat rate. So now please tell me, yes, we can write it down clearly. If there is any basic exemption limit, we have to follow the which rates are slab rates. We have to follow the which rates? Slab rates. If there is no basic exemption limit, we have to follow the tell me. We have to follow which rates? Flat rates. Now, these are the persons does not have any basic exemption limit. That's why which rates we have to follow? Flat rates. Now, directly we'll discuss the what is that income tax rate. What is that income tax rate? Please tell me. Income tax rate for all the above person is flat. How much ma? 30%. There is no need to discuss directly what flat 30%. Next one ma surcharge rates. What is that? Surcharge rates. Again just listen carefully all of you. Surcharge rates for these fellows, yes ma, depending upon what ma total income. Yes ma, listen carefully all of you. If this total income exceeds how much ma? 1 crore, not 50 lakh for partnership firm, LLP as well as what ma local authority, they given the base as an what ma 1 crore. Individual HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP 50 lakh. More than 1 crore, but less than or equal to how much ma? 10 crore. Next I will tell you, if the total income is more than how much ma? 10 crore. I just understood. Remember this, but I will tell you clearly. For whom we are discussing the surcharge? Partnership firm, LLP, local. The surcharge is always what? 12%. Sir, why you written again two classifications, sir? Instead of writing these are all, if total income exceeding 1 crore, always 12% is correct. But in order to compare the surcharge rates of domestic company as well as foreign company, I want to write like this. That's why I given the presentation. Many are asking, sir, it is a printing mistake. No. It is not a printing mistake. It is clear. Surcharge rate for the partnership firm including LLP, local authority is always what ma? 12%. If total income exceeds how much ma? 1 crore. Total income exceeds how much ma? 1 crore. Example, partnership firm total income is 90 lakh. Is there any surcharge we have to pay? No. Why? It is less than 1 crore. Sir, 1.6 crore is there. What is the surcharge rate ma? 12%. 9 crore is there. 5 crore is there. 12%. If total income exceeds 1 crore, always how much ma? 12%. Understood all of you? Again, please listen carefully. Partnership firm including LLP, local authority tax rates we discussed. Okay. In this person definition, we discuss the tax rates for all of them. Next, we discuss the tax rates for the partnership firm, LLP, local authority, pending for whom? Company, cooperative societies. So all we discuss, just we have to discuss the company as well as what ma? Local authority. Now we'll discuss about the company tax rates. First of all, tell me how we can classify the companies for discussing the tax rates. First one is an domestic company. Second one is foreign company. Shall we discuss the domestic company tax rates first? Then after which company ma? Foreign company. So now we'll discuss the tax rates for domestic company. All of you, shall we start? So simply domestic company means it isn't what ma? Indian company. Okay. Slowly we can start the domestic company tax rates. Here for domestic company we have an option to follow the regimes. Previously we discussed the regimes for whom? Individual, HF, AOP, BOI, AJP. For partnership firm, LLP as well as local authority, is there any regimes ma? No, we don't have any regime. They have to follow these tax rates whatever the given in the act. For whom they are given the options ma? Individual, HF, AOP, BOI, AJP. As well as for domestic company also they given an option to follow the what regimes. Shall we discuss ma? Ma easy ra? If you want to remember for long time, just listen carefully. First. Tell me ra? What are the rates generally? Ma domestic company we haven't two ma. First one normal tax rates. Okay, don't call it as a default. Just normal. Okay, as usual tax rates. But I don't want to follow this normal, sir. I want to opt. I want to what? Opt or select. What is that ma? Concessional tax regime. What is that ma? Concessional tax regime. What is the tax regime? Concessional tax regime. That means default optional for individual HF, AOP, BOI, AJP. What is that regimes we are calling here ma? This is a default one. This is what ma? Optional. But the same names you are going to apply for domestic company, that is not correct. They will allocate marks conceptually for you, that is correct only. But in act, what is that exact word? Normal tax rates. For domestic company, I given normal tax rate. But in certain cases, you can go with the concessional tax rates also. What is that ma? Concessional tax rate. Many students are using opt out and all the things. No. Here you have to follow this. No. If you want to go with the, yes ma, if you want to opt out, this means you are cancelling normal and you are going with the what? Understood ra? First I will concentrate on the, yes ma, here, what is that? Income tax rate. Under which regime, under which tax rates I want to discuss the income tax rates ma? Under normal tax rate. Shall we? Forget about everything. Generally, if any domestic company is there, what is that income tax rate? Tell me ma. Any idea? Ma, listen. Turnover or gross receipts in which previous year ma? Previous year. Can I call it as previous year? No. Now we have to call it as what? tax year. Yes, what is a tax year? 24, 25. Sir, earlier tax year only we are taken, ma. Which year? 24, 25. Yes, does not exceed. Does not exceed means what is the meaning, ma? Does not exceed means equal also okay. How many crores? 400 crores. Now we are discussing the tax rate for the which tax year? 20. Now we are discussing for which tax year? 26, 27. Sir, 26, 27 tax rates I want to know. For levying the tax rate of, levying the tax in the hands of domestic company for this year, we want to check the turnover or gross receipts of which year, ma? 24, 25. What is the logic, ra? I will tell you. Ma? This year turnover we don't know as of now. Why, ra? This year ending with the what, ra? 31st March 2027. After that also some dates we have to wait for the completion on finalization of financial statements. That immediately preceding is what, ma? 25, 26. Sir, we haven't chance to edit these turnovers maybe higher or lower. In our hands only, because the board approval also pending, auditors attestations also pending. So that's why in order to decide the tax rate, we can inflate or we can deflate these things. That's why safely income tax department is considering the which year, this preceding year 25, 26 also not required. We have to check another year, what is that, 24, 25. Not only in this year, every time we don't want to take the present year or immediately preceding year, we want to check immediately preceding year. Yes, what is that, 24, 25. What is that, ma? If does not exceed 400 crores, the tax rate is how much, ma? 25%. What is the tax rate, ma? 25%. In any other case, ra? Can you tell me? In any other case. Ma, any other case means what, ra? Maybe more than 400 crores. How much, ra? 30%. What is the rate, ra? 30%. These are the tax rates we discussed under which regime or which tax rates? Normal tax rate. What is that, ma? Normal tax rate. Sir, some companies, eligible companies only can go for the concessional tax rates. Which companies and what are the section numbers? I will tell you in and out. First one. First section, ra? Just I will mention the section numbers. Section section 200, ra? Ma, previously the section numbers are 115 BA, BAA, BAB is there. Now that is replaced as an what, ma? 200. Next page I will take the, section 200 is over. Section what, ma? 201. Section 200 as well as section 201. Are you clear? Okay. First I will tell you 201. Then after I will fill the gap in the 200. Shall we? 201. Tell me, ra? 201 for whom? Clearly they given that is nothing but what, ma? Domestic company engaged in the manufacturing. Sir, in order to follow the concessional rates given in 201, which companies can follow, ma? Domestic manufacturing company. Sir, we want to encourage the manufacturing companies in India. We given the concessional. Concessional means definitely we want to give the in tax rates in the concessional tax regime less than this only, definitely. Generally 25 or 30, right? But here we want to give less than these rates only. For whom we are offering the less than these rates, ma? Oh, domestic manufacturing company. upon the satisfaction of these two conditions. Upon the satisfaction of these two conditions. The first condition is set up and register. What is that, ma? Set up and register. On or after. What is that, ma? On or after. What date? Any idea? 1/4/2019. Dates also important. In 1920 year, on or after only you have to set up and register. That means you have to establish everything and you have to take the registration for that companies under ROC also on or after this date. But condition number 2 is cumulatively we have to check. That's why condition is what is that, ma? Commencement of business. What is that? Commencement of business. Commencement of what, ma? Business. Tell me. Before. Yes, ma? Before. What date? 31st March 2024. 31st March 2024. If all these conditions also satisfied by the domestic manufacturing company, then we given an option to follow of concessional tax rate of what, ma? 15% only. So use concession. Instead of paying 25 or 30, just here you have to pay what, ma? 15% only. But in this, our charge rate is fixed. What is that? 10%. Health and education says is what? 4%. This is an income tax rate. This is an what rate? Income tax rate. And please tell me what is the surcharge rate here fixed? No need to check total income. Directly 10. No need to check total income. Directly 10. And health and education says. Can you tell me what is that effective rate? Please calculate effective rate. All of you. Multiple revisions are required in order to register these dates. What is that effective, ma? Effective means how to calculate you should know. Don't add everything. If you added everything, I know 29. No need to use the calculator. Effective rate means, listen, this surcharge required to be applied on what, ma? 15. Next, this 4% applied on what, ma? Both this effect, right? Okay, that's why just I will open the calculator. Effective rate means, tell me. First, what is that, ma? 15. On this 15%, I have to apply how much, na? 10% plus. Can you tell me? On both the things we have to apply how much, ma? 4%. What is that, ma? 17.160. 17.16% is this rate only. I will call it as what, ma? Effective tax rate. What is that? Effective tax rate. I understood. Effective tax rate. Don't add everything blindly. In exam, you have to ready with everything. Pakka first MCQ from these rates only. In every attempt you can compare first MCQ from the tax rates under different SSCs. So maybe they can ask from individual also, HUF also, AOP or domestic companies, cooperative society. First MCQ definitely from tax rates. 2 marks. Sir, I want to remember everything by using the handwritten or anything. No. You have to register in your mind what are the tax rates, surcharge rates and dates also together. Next, sir, 201 is especially given for the manufacturing domestic companies, but other than manufacturing also we have an right. That's why here other domestic companies, what is that, ma? Other domestic companies can follow this. Sir, other means nothing but what, ma? Other than manufacturing. Definitely, if that is manufacturing, these rates are better. So that's why they will go with this. Sir, other than manufacturing, service also, trading also, the many domestic companies will be there. For all of them, what is the regime? Concessionally, you can go ma 200. Section 200. Okay, sir, here what is that, sir? What is the rate, sir? 22. We are not giving so much concession. We are giving just somewhat concession only. But here we are given more because it is manufacturing company. What is that, ma? 22. What is the rate? Tell me. Income tax rate plus surcharge also fixed here. What is the surcharge rate? 10%. 4% is what, ma? Health and education cess. Are tell me what is that effective tax rate, all of you? Ma? Yes, you can apply. 22 is an income tax rate, right, ma? Plus, what is the surcharge? 10%. What is that? Health and education says 4%. How much? 25.168 is an effective tax rate. What is that effective tax rate under 200? Sir, in future I will call always with the section numbers. If I am saying 200, other domestic companies, 201, domestic manufacturing company, 200 and 201 sections are related to concessional tax rates for the domestic company. What is that? 202? Are already 200 over, 201 over. 202 we discussed for whom? Individual, HF, AOP, BOI, AJP, optional tax rate we discussed. Sorry, default tax regime we discussed. Clear up? All of you. Sir, we discussed surcharge rates combinedly in this section. But what is the surcharge rates if that domestic company following the what ma normal tax rate? Shall we discuss that? Surcharge rates. Yes, ma. Surcharge rates now we'll discuss. You know already surcharge always depending upon what ma? Total income. What is that? Total income. Yes, if the total income is more than 1 crore, less than or equal to 10 crore. Next, I think you know what is the next limit. Total income, how much ma? More than 10 crore. Sir, the same limits be written where ma? Partnership form, LLP, local authority. But we don't want to write it down everything in that. Just if you written more than how much ma? 1 crore, always how much ma? 12%. But in order to compare the same presentation with the domestic company, I am maintaining the same. More than 1 crore, less than how much ma? 10 crore, as well as more than. Listen carefully, right? If any domestic company total income is less than or equal to 1 crore, no surcharge. If exceeds 1 crore, till 10 crore, surcharge rate is 7%. What is the surcharge rate, ma? 7%. Okay, if the total income of the domestic company, suppose forget about everything, I given the total income of domestic company under normal tax rates, I given as an 15 crores. That more than how much? Yes, directly I have to apply what? 12%. Sir, surcharge rates for which company we are discussing? Domestic company. Yes, remember, these rates required to be applied on what? Income tax. Whenever you have a surcharge rate, that surcharge rate always required to be applied on what? Income tax. Don't forget that. Clear? Done? So domestic company things we discussed clearly. My domestic company things we discussed clearly. So next, which company we have to discuss? Foreign company. Sir, for foreign company only one regime. There is no two regimes. As of now, for whom we discussed two regimes, individual, HF, AOP, BOI, AJP. Next one, domestic company. The remaining partnership firm, LLP, local authority, only one regime. Now we are going to discuss the tax rates for the which company, ma? Foreign company. Only one regime we have. Shall we write it down? What is the D point, right? Yes, which company? Foreign company. Can you tell me what is a foreign company which is not a domestic company? That is only definition, ra. The given definition for domestic company in our act, ra, which is not a domestic company, is an foreign company. Super, ra. You know everything, ra. Shall we? Remember, while discussing the tax rates for the foreign companies, ra, what is the tax rate for foreign company? You know already? 40. My earlier 40, ra, now 35 only. Okay, I think 2 years before 40% is. Okay, 1 year before also, now also how much rate, ra? 35%. But you are a final student, right? That's why I want to give you some special tax rates for the foreign company also now itself, ra. Try to remember. Okay, if I am asking tax rate, you have to tell what is the tax rate for the foreign company, ma? 35 only. But in certain cases, the foreign company is also required to pay the tax at the rate of how much, ma? 50. That case first I will tell you. Shall we? Foreign company, first divide into two, ra. What is that income also I will tell you. The royalty income. What is that income, ma? Royalty income. That are FTS. FTS full form, ma? Fees for technical services. My example, if that foreign company provided any services to Indian companies, Indian company required to pay certain amount, right? In order to, example, here foreign company is provided the services to Indian government or Indian concern. Concern means nothing but what, ma? Entities. What they provided, ma? Services. There may be technical services, installation services, etc. Now we have to pay the what, ma? Royalty income. So in consideration, we have to pay the royalty income or fees for technical services income we have to pay. Now what is that income to the foreign company from this royalty or FTS? Now I want to discuss what is the tax rate. Yes, if this income is received by the foreign company, definitely this income is Indian income only, because from India only they are generating this income. Indian income is taxable in the hands of whom? All. So that's why foreign company also required to pay the tax on this income, but not 35%. They are levying at the rate of how much, ma? 50%. In this case only, what is that? 50%. Shall we? Tell me. But here agreement date is important. Agreement between whom? Service provider, service recipient. Who is a service provider? Foreign company. Who is a service recipient? Indian company. In between them, definitely agreement must be there. If that agreement regarding the royalty, sir, suppose if we are going to receive the royalty, clearly they given the agreement date. Can you tell me? 1/4/1961 to 31st March 1976. In this time, if agreement was done, what is the time? 1/4/1961 and what is that, ma? 31st March 1976. If agreement, if you want to check, I will give you the dates for which income? FTS income. The dates will be 1/3/1964 to 31st March 1976. Are old dates. In between these two dates, if agreement was done, then only the special tax rate at the rate of how much will be applied? Sorry, 50, not 5, not 15. is an 50. Sir, latestly we entered into agreement 35% only. In between these dates, already there is an agreement between the foreign company as well as Indian company regarding providing the services. Yes, then rate will be how much ma? 50%. These dates also you have to remember. Okay. Sir, ending date is same, right? Ending date is same, right? Starting date you have to remember. Yes, the royalty related agreement dates separately they are saying. Agreement related to FTS also they are saying separately. Sir, many students are referring this as a common dates. No, the every date is different for the agreements with respect to the royalty as well as FTS. Okay, sir. Otherwise or in other case, in any other case, can you tell me what is the rate? You know, this is only general rate. What is that? 35%. What is that rate, ma? 35%. This is only the most important rate. This is only what, ma? Most important rate. All of you clear? Okay. Now, ma, we have to discuss the surcharge rates for the foreign company. We have to discuss the what, ma? Surcharge rates for the foreign company. Income tax rates we discussed for the foreign company. Now I want to discuss the surcharge rates. Shall we discuss surcharge rates? Tell me, surcharge is depending upon what, ma? Total income. So can you tell me for companies when we have to levy the surcharge, ma? If the total income exceeds 1 crore, less than how much, ma? 10 crore. Next slab, ma? Total income is more than how much, ma? So now I am discussing the surcharge rates for which company? Foreign company. Now I am discussing the surcharge rates for the foreign company. Here 2% as well as what? 5%. The domestic company 7 or 12. But for foreign company we are giving how much, ma? 2.5 only. Generally, our companies will require to pay less tax. Other companies like foreign companies required to pay more. So students will remember this 2.5 for domestic, 7.12 for foreign. I will tell you logic also. Okay, many, not only few, many students remembering surcharge rate reversely. What is the reason? I will tell you. Okay, in our view, okay, don't write it down, this is for comparison only. Domestic company is our company, the foreign company is nothing but outside countries related company. So that's why while discussing the tax rates, they are remembering perfectly. What are the tax rates under normal, ma? 25% or what, ma? 30% income tax rate is there. If okay, surcharge rates, surcharge rates 7% as well as what, ma? 12%. But we have an option to follow 200 section as well as 201. 200 if you followed 25.168 and next one, ma? 17.160. Foreign company generally what, ma? 35%. Surcharge rate 2% or 5%. Now, ma, this surcharge we are computing on which factor, ma? On income tax. Okay, right? This is only income tax, right? Ma, listen. Just here we collected 25 or 30. Here we are already collected more tax. On this, just if you apply 2 or 5 also sufficient. That's why we given here 2 or 5. Here we collected less amount of income tax. So that's why we are applying the more surcharge rates. Remember, yes, already we collected more income tax for the foreign company. So that's why now we are reducing the what, ma? Surcharge rates compared to the which company? Domestic company. Don't remember in a reverse way. Okay, surcharge rates percentages are higher for which company? Domestic only. It is only the reverse. Always tax rate is higher compared to domestic company, but surcharge rate is what? Lower. Tax rate is higher to compare to domestic company. Surcharge rate is what? Lower. So can you tell me what is the surcharge rates for the foreign company? 2, 5 only. Surcharge rates for the domestic company 7, 12. Okay, in flow also in exam many students are thinking nearly for 15 to 10 minutes. Then after they will write in a reverse fare. Why we have to pay the more surcharge for the domestic company? Okay, they will change here it as on 2 or 5 and here they will apply the what ma 7. Remember surcharge rate for which company is higher? Domestic company only. Clear? So okay, foreign company also over. Domestic company tax rate we discussed, the foreign company tax rates also we discussed. Again we'll discuss. We already discussed the tax rates and surcharge rates for that individual HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP, whether they are following the 202 or optional. Default tax regime under 202 as well as optional. Next we discussed the tax rate for the partnership firm, LLP, local authority, only one regime is there, and surcharge rates also we discussed. Then after company we classified into two, domestic as well as foreign. First we discussed about domestic company under normal, under concessional, under 200 and 201. Next we discussed the foreign company also, special tax rate 50 is there, normal 35 is there, and surcharge rates also we discussed. And while discussing the domestic company, foreign company tax rates, yes, surcharge rates is higher for which company ma? Domestic company compared to foreign. Now we have to discuss only what? Cooperative society. If we discussed the cooperative society's tax rates, then surcharge rates, then tax rates discussion is over. Okay, sir, at once if you are listen these things, okay, absorbing everything into your mind is difficult, but after 1 or 2 revisions, it will be registered into your mind. So again, I am saying no need to refer these tax rates again and again in that further chapters like revision, not required. Just today, if you listen and one revision, that's enough. Yes, first you have to maintain the clarity. Clarity means I will tell you. Many students after the class they are going to ask, sir, you are saying 2 regimes for individual HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP, sir, and for domestic company also, and for cooperative society also will discuss the 2 regimes. For whom we are going to discuss the 2 regimes? Individual HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP. Next one, domestic company. Next one, cooperative society. After the class, students will come and ask, so then what about foreign companies, sir? Then what about the partnership firm, LLP, cooperative society, sir? We are discussing only one regime for them. That is not in our syllabus or that is not in our act. Remember, not in our act. So they have an option to follow one rate only. That rate we discuss. There is no alternative regimes, alternative rates for the which companies? Foreign companies, partnership firm, LLP, local authority. Clear? Now we'll discuss for whom? Cooperative society. What is the number? DE. Clear? Many are asking, sir, partnership firm, is there any option to follow the other rates, sir? You are not saying in our class, but in our act is there or not, they will ask. No. In act also they have an only flat 30%. Surcharge rate is what? 12%. For whom? Partnership firm, LLP, local authority. Now we are going to discuss the cooperative society. Earlier we created one thumb rule. What is the thumb rule? You know already. Sir, if any person having the basic exemption limit, slab rate. Okay. If any person not having the basic exemption limit, flat rate. Already we followed the same thing, right? Again I will write it down. If any person having the basic exemption limit, slab rates. Next, there is no basic exemption limit means cooperative society tax rates are exception to this thumb rule. There is no basic exemption limit. Still we are following slab rates. For cooperative society, listen carefully. For whom? Cooperative society. Is there any basic exemption limit? No. Still we are following which rates? Slab rates. So clearly I am saying exception. Cooperative society is what? Exception. Exception to this rule. Just we are using the words for our convenient purposes only. For our convenient purposes only. Clear? Shall we discuss what are the rates? All of you? Cooperative society tax rate shall we discuss, ma? Here cooperative society also have an option to follow the two regimes. First regime is, we can call it as an normal tax rate. What is that, ma? Normal tax rate. Next one, ma, for domestic company we have an concessional tax rates, right? Here also we are using the word as an what, ma? Concessional tax regime. What is that? Concessional tax regime. Sir, you can follow normal. If you don't want to follow the normal, you can shift out or you can opt out. That means you are going to follow the what, ma? Concessional. You have an option to follow the concessional tax regime also. First I will tell you what are the normal tax rates. Yes, as well as what, ma? Surcharge rates. We can discuss income tax rate. Shall we? Here we are following the which rates? Slab rates or flat rates? Slab rates. There is no basic exemption limit. Still we are following the what rates? No basic exemption limit. We are following the slab rates. That's why we are calling it as what, ma? Exception. Tell me. There is no basic exemption limit means 0 to how much, ma? 10,000. Sir, why very less income slabs we mentioned? Cooperative society is basically forming on self-help basis. That means, okay, we have a common objective. Okay, we can associate with each other, and for helping with each other in this profit earning objective is minimum. We don't, okay, this service oriented only totally. Okay, incidentally, if any profit we achieve, example, primary agriculture credit cooperative society. In that village, whoever the farmers are there, they can become the member in the cooperative society. Each one can contribute 10,000, 10,000, 10,000. That aggregatedly maybe 10 lakh or 20 lakh. Whoever required for their agriculture purpose, whoever loan is required for their agriculture purpose, they can take the loan from whom? This society. Example, we are all are contributing 10,000 each as a member agriculture credit society. Okay, that fellow is required loan. Okay, she will come and she will take the loan. That interest rate on that loan also minimum. Nothing but for her, we are all are helping, right? And we are charging less amount of interest. So that's why the profit earning objective in the cooperative society is minimum. Definitely the profit earning is there. But that is what minimum. That's why our tax rates also what minimum only 0 to 10,000. Next one, 10,000 1 rupee to 1 lakh, 10 lakh, 20,000. Next one, above 20,000. Above 20,000 and 1 rupee. Yes, what is the tax rate, sir? Just 10%, 20%, 30%. Slab rates only here also we are discussing. Yes. But there is no basic exemption limit. That's why we are charging even 1 rupee or 2 rupees also. Clear? Next. Then what is the surcharge rate? Shall we discuss, ma? Sir, surcharge rates is levied based on what, ma? Total income. Surcharge rate is always levied based on what, ma? Total income. If the total income is more than 1 crore, less than or equal to 10 crore, if the total income is, tell me, ma, more than 10. More than how much, ma? That's similar to domestic company. I have to give. What is a domestic company? 7. So now I am given the cooperative society surcharge rates, but the same surcharge rates we given for the domestic company, that is only we have to apply here. So for domestic company only concessional regime also there, right? Under which sections, ma? 200, 201. 202 already over. What is a 202? Individual HF, AOP, BOI, AJP, default tax regime. 200 over, 201, 202. Then 203, 204 covered here. 203, 204 covered here. Sir, here also they given the two concessional tax rate. One, first, second. These two I will tell you. Can you tell me what is the section number, ma? Here first I will give you section 203. Then after I will give you section what, ma? 204. Ma, if I am given the earlier section numbers, easily I can write it down. Besides every section, old section reference also I can write it down. Initially I haven't thought of writing down. Whenever I am writing the 202, example I will say 202. Within the bracket I want to write it down 115 BSc. If I am writing down 115 BSc, we can remember this is only. Okay, in my opinion, maybe I am wrong in this point, but if I am writing the old section reference within the bracket, okay, in other books also, in act also, they given the reference. But for study purpose, if I am writing everything, we can remember again old only. In my point of view, that's why I don't want to talk about in material, I don't want to talk about the old section numbers. In classroom, I will give the comparison. Okay. Next, tell me, ma, 203 as well as 204. First, I will discuss about the 204. First, I will discuss about the what, ma? 204. Ma, already we discussed domestic company, manufacturing domestic company, right? Here also 204, if you observe, manufacturing cooperative society, Puma, manufacturing cooperative society. But that manufacturing cooperative society is resident in India. So nothing but the resident in Verma, India. After satisfaction of these two conditions, condition 1 as well as condition 2. Condition 1 as well as what, ma? Condition 2. Manufacturing cooperative society, that is resident or non-resident, ma? Resident. Then upon the satisfaction of two conditions, ma, can you tell me set up as well as what, registered, where we discussed the same words, for domestic company, section 201. Set up and register, yes, ma, on or after what date? 1/4/2023. Yes, ma. Commencement before what? Commencement of business. Okay, that also we can write it down. Commencement of what, ma? Business. Commencement of business before 31st March 2024. Sir, if all these conditions are satisfied, what is the rate, sir? Rate also the same as in 201. What is the 201 rate, sir? 10% surcharge, 15% income tax rate, 4% is what, sir? Health and education cess. You can check section 201 in that which domestic company 1510.4, right? That is only here also we are maintaining. 15% is what? Income tax rate. Income tax rate. This is what? Surcharge. This is what ma? H and EC. Health and education says. Effective. Don't calculate again and again. Remember this effective. 17 point what ma? 16. Effective tax rate. That means whatever that company, domestic company, the same thing we are dumping. Even surcharge rates also we are dumping, as well as concessional tax rates also we are dumping. But dates is different here. Dates are different here. Please check it out properly. Then 203. Any other cooperative society. Any other resident cooperative society. Any other resident cooperative society. Sir, resident cooperative societies only can opt the concessional tax. Like domestic company means always resident, right? But domestic company is always resident. Like cooperative society also, resident cooperative society only can opt what ma? Concessional tax regime. Can you tell me what is the tax rate? 22% plus fixed surcharge plus health and education says it is 25.168%. It is similar to which section? 200. Similar to which section ma? 200. Clear up to now? Sir, in this session, especially we discuss tax rates, surcharge rates. Surcharge rates. Clear? For whom we discussed? For every person we discussed. You can observe what is that person definition ma? Section 2, class 77. Section 2, class 77. Yes. You can observe whether we discuss tax rates for all of these persons or not. You can compare. First, individual HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP. We discussed two regimes. The first one is a default tax regime under 202, as well as optional we discuss. After completion of this, we discussed about the individual HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP. After that, we discussed the partnership firm, LLP, local authority. Partnership firm, LLP, local authority. Only one receipt. Next, domestic company we discussed. Foreign company also we discussed. Next one, cooperative society. All are covered, right? I will give you summary. I will give you the what ma? Summary. If you listen up to now, then you can understood the summary. If you are awaking now and if you want to understood this summary, that is not possible. Again I am saying. Shall we? Now first I want to cover individual. If don't write it down, listen. AOP, BOI, AJP. What is the regime they have ma? Generally, default. Default tax regime under section 202. One more. Here I want to say 202, but tax rates whatever we discussed up to 4 lakh, 4 to 8, that all given in 202 subsection 1. Okay. Conversion option given in which section? 202 subsection 4. Understood? Generally you can remember 202, but whatever the tax rates we discussed, that is given in 202 subsection 1. If they want to change, that means shift out or opt out. Possible? Tell me, shift out or opt out possible? Under which section, ma? 202 subsection 4. No, everything, just we are writing again it as an what, ma? Summary. Then you can land it to which one, ma? Optional tax rate. Use these words only because in earlier act they given multiple alternative tax regime, etc. Now they are using these words. Sir, if you are using any other extra word also, but meaning must be same. Okay, next. Other, ma, now I want to study domestic company. Can I? Domestic company. What is that regime? Generally, normal tax rates. Normal tax rates. Okay. If they want to shift out or opt out, possible? Shift or opt out. Then concessional tax rate. Concessional tax rates or concessional tax regime. Can you tell me what are the sections, ma? Section 200, section 201. Okay. Next, can you tell me what is that option? You can write it on, ma? Cooperative society. No. Resident cooperative society. If that is a non-resident, only one resident. Okay. Resident cooperative society. Generally what, ma? Normal tax rate. Generally what, ma? Normal tax rates. Okay. Then if they want to shift out or opt out, possible? Yes, possible. Shift out or opt out. Can you tell me what is the rates, ma? Concessional tax regime. Concessional tax regime. So can you tell me the sections are continuing, ma? 200, 201, 202. Now 203. In front of that I will section. Section 203, section 204. Then what about remaining SSEs, sir? Only one regime we have. Can you tell me remaining means whom? Partnership firm, LLP, local authority. Local authority. Next, ma? Foreign company. Is there any person other than this? Ma? All are covered, right? Individual, domestic company, cooperative society. Can you tell me? Only one regime. Only one regime is available. They have to follow that. There is no option to shift out or opt out. Understood? You can write it down, or if you know already, that's okay. Without seeing also, you can maintain this type of summary. Sir, first, many are asking this point only, sir. In our syllabus is not there, or act. In act also only one regime they have to follow this regime only. In act, can you tell me for whom two regimes are there, ma? Individual HF, VOP, BOI, AJP, domestic company, as well as resident cooperative society. Clear? Next, this is not required, otherwise I will share the PDF also. In the group I will share the PDF after evening also. No need to write it down, but if you know, if you understood that earlier discussion, this is not required to write, but in our notes I will give it, no problem. Sir, income tax rates surcharge, okay. After health and education says, if you combined these three, you will get what, ma? In tax liability. If you observe, in order to calculate the tax liability, what, ma? Tax liability, we have to found these three. But already we discussed these two. Now we have to discuss the health and education says the combination of these three things only tax liability, right? Shall we discuss the health and education says, ma? For all the persons, individual, HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP, domestic company, foreign company, cooperative society, partnership firm, LLP, local authority, for all health and education says is same. For all health and education says is what? Same. So now we can discuss the health and education says. So nothing but in India, we want to develop the infrastructural facilities for the health and education says. We are going to collect the income tax. Along with the income tax and surcharge, anyhow we can collect. But for specifically for this purpose, health and education purpose, we want to collect the one more type of tax. If we are given the name of tax, that is not correct, right? So that's why we are calling the cess. Additionally, we want to collect, but this is also treated as what? Income tax liability on. Income tax surcharge we are collecting. On these two things, we want to collect additionally some more amount in the name of what? Health and education cess. Tell me, it is applicable for all SSCs, right? It is applicable for the all SSCs. Applicable to all SSCs. Sir, why we are using the name as an SSC? If you are an SSC, then only you have to pay the tax. So that's why SSCs. Then what is that amount? What is that amount? Simply 4%. Here I am changing my word. Listen carefully. 4% of what, ma? Income tax plus plus surcharge. Sir, for rich persons like you, surcharge will be there. Okay. But some cases we can give the what? Rebate. Sir, because of the rebate, our tax liability will be reduced. So that means these two things, anyone only. What is the two things, ma? Surcharge or rebate. If you are a poor person, reduce with the rebate. If you are a rich person, increase it with the what, ma? Surcharge. Sir, previously I said only these two. Okay. Can I apply surcharge concept and rebate concept on one person? No, it is impossible. Poor, rebate we can give. Rich, surcharge we can give. So that's why conjunction I mentioned as an what, ma? Remember, suppose income tax some amount, surcharge some amount, these two things on we have to apply what, ma? 4%. Clear? So suppose income tax and we are giving the rebate. What is that effect? On that we have to levy the what? 4%. Okay, next discussion in the evening session we can discuss what is that rebate. In evening we can cover the concept of rebate, but now listen carefully. I want to give the one more point. Health and education session, last step in the tax computation. First income tax, then after surcharge or rebate. Last step, what is that? Health and education says. So this is the most important point. Health and education says is the last step in tax computation. Don't forget this. We can use this word again in the evening session while doing the problems. Health and education says is an last step in the tax computation. First income tax, surcharge or rebate. On this we have to apply the 4%. Yes, what is that, ma? 4. Clear. So in the evening session, we can discuss the further concepts like special tax rate. Sir, we discussed the normal tax rates only here if you observe. Okay, normal incomes related, you can follow the default also as well as the concessional also, right? But if any special incomes are there, what is the special tax rates? We can discuss evening. Then after rebate, okay, then after marginal relief, then automatically this chapter will be over. Evening we can discuss special tax rate as well as rebate concept, and if possible we can enter into marginal relief also. Okay, take a break for 10 minutes.